Thank you for joining. Welcome in. My name is Ray. And if you're just joining for the first time, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you thank you for joining me. And if you are returning, thank you. Welcome back. Um, I am live streaming tonight a little bit late. I will try not to live stream all night again because goodness me, the shadows. There's so many shadows lurking, and I know it's Halloween season, but hello, shadows. That's way too many shadows. Anyway, do not pay attention to the shadows. Focus on what I am going to be saying tonight because it's so important, you guys. So, ladies, darlings, today's video is traits of women who are with provider men. I think that a lot of times women, and particularly those who are haters, like to think that they like to, hate on women who are with provider men. But even those who do not hate, they assume is luck. Those women are lucky. Well, I'm here to debunk all of that. It's anything but luck. It's a lot of work. Women who attract and are who only attract and date provider men or are married to provider men, it is um it is a lifestyle. All right. So let's get into it. If you find me looking um on my right, it's because I am looking at some of the traits I have listed out on a board. All right. So let's get right into it. The first trait or habit, if you like, of women who attract and date only and are with provider men is that they are leveled up women. And we are going to dissect this leveled up into several sections. So the first one I will say physical, because um, a lot of you ladies want to say things like looks don't matter, but in this game, looks are pivotal. Looks are the first, all right? Looks are the first and the last. Before someone speaks to you, before someone approaches you, there must be something about you that appeals to them. And what is that? It's your appearance. So, appearances are of utmost importance if you want to get into the lifestyle of attracting and dating only provider men, right? No man who is well off, who is established and successful wants to be with a woman who looks like a cardboard paper or you know, a carbon monoxide thingy that when she goes out, people sirens are wailing because they think there's something wrong. They want to be with a woman who is put together. So appearances are of utmost importance. I don't care how you look at it. If you do not like clothes, you have to learn to like clothes. If you do not like makeup, you have to learn to like makeup. If you do not like hair or wigs or whatever, you have to learn those things because the physical part of it, the physicality aspect is just something that cannot be more subtracted from the equation. It's so important. And women who level up themselves physically and know that they are stunning, beautiful, either naturally or have been enhanced in some way or the other and have just leveled up, they know this, and this further affects their self-confidence. It imparts it emboldens their self-confidence as well as self-value. And any man or any person even at all who sees them knows that this woman is not attainable by just anybody. Haven't you dressed up and gone out, and sometimes the women who are even with their husbands, they tap their husbands to look? Well, it has happened to me quite a few times. So I am saying this, and I have seen a woman who go out and I look at them and I'm like, yeah, that's beautiful. That's a lovely woman. That's a woman well put together. So so much so even women are attracted. Women are admiring so many times. When I see them, I just smile. Sometimes I just wink because they look so gorgeous, right? So the physical part of leveling up is the most important because, like it or not, the physicality aspect will affect the psychological, the emotional, the mental, and every and and emotional as well, and every other aspect of this journey and of you. So when you look good, you feel happy regardless of the problems or issues you have. You feel happy because you look at yourself in the mirror and you like what you see. So that is so important on top, and that's why I started it first of all with it. Because if you do not put the physical aspect in the forefront, then you're playing yourself. Because you can say that I've got this, and mentally I am this, but nobody's seeing your mental trait. Nobody's seeing that. Nobody's seeing your emotional stability. What they are seeing is what you put forward, and that is your physical appearance. You see where we're going with this? That's why it has to be the first part of you that you work to change, regardless of whatever you're doing. The physical aspect has to take prominence over everything else, right? Change your physical appearance and make sure that you like what you see when you stand in front of the mirror. If you are trying to have a sort of like an out of body experience, and imagine if you were not you, would you approach you? Would you approach that woman you're seeing in front of the mirror? Would you say hello? Would you smile? Would you want to buy her a drink or buy her go on a date with her? Would you want to see her again? If the answer is no, then start again. All right? Because it's so important that when you walk out, step out of your door, you're representing the best version of yourself all the time, all the time. That's why leveling up itself is not a daily, it's not a hobby, it's not a periodic thing. It's something that is a lifestyle, and you have to embody it and take it as such and treat it as such, as a full-time job, a lifestyle. It becomes part and parcel of you, that every day before you step outside the door, you know that your clothes, your outfit has to be on point and in perfect and orderly fashion and a respectable fashion as well. And you also have to make sure your hair is put together, your hair is well oiled and in well styled. You also have to make sure your makeup is representing a grown up woman, a woman who wants to attract a certain caliber of man, right? And you also have to make sure your footwear is from head to toe, really. Your nails, everything about you has to represent the woman who wants to live a certain lifestyle, who wants to attract certain men, the well-off men and the established and successful men, right? So that's the physical done. Like I said, nobody's going to see your emotional stability. Nobody's going to see you and know that, oh, she doesn't smoke, she's well behaved. Nobody knows. These things do not have a signboard. You do not go about with a tag on your head saying, oh, Ray is well behaved. Ray has this, that, and she is well educated. She has 3 degrees, and nobody cares because nobody knows. The only thing that speaks for you, first of all, is your appearance. It is that appearance that will lure and attract the right person in, and then they begin to know you and then appreciate your energy, your aura, your personality, and every other thing follows. First of all, the appearance has to be attractive, it has to be sensual, it has to be feminine, it has to attract that man you are aiming for, right? Number two is that under the second part of the leveled up is the mentality. When it comes to mentality, right? Like I already said, the physical will also impact highly impact the mentality aspect. Your mental habit will also be informed by how you look, what you look like physically, but it also has to do with self-value, which again are so tied to your physical appearance, right? If for example you think you're overweight and that hinders you from loving yourself enough or from having that self-value, then you have to, it will definitely affect your self-value and self-confidence and mentality. You'll always not find you will think that you're not worthy because your weight. I mean, if you are the weight you do not want, you have to simply get on a diet and go to the gym and do things, go running, have a serious routine that you stick to. That's the only thing that will help you. And again, now you know there's so many drugs and all of that that people are taking to get slim, all right? But there are people who are big and they still have self value, mountainous self value. So that alone should not really make you feel a certain way. But if you're feeling a certain way, it means you want to be something that is different from what you are. So work on it. That is part of the leveling up, because you're able to identify the problem, the challenge you have, the problem that is holding you back from being mentally fit and loving yourself and valuing yourself enough. And then you're able to fix it. All right. That also improves the quality of woman you are, because it means you're grown. You are able to identify and sort out issues that are affecting you or that pertain to you. That in itself is very attractive. That you are able to identify your issues, your truth teller. You look into the mirror and you're able to speak to yourself and say, okay, Ray, I don't want this. I need to change this. This is not the way I want it to be. I can change it and I will change it. And you go ahead and change it, right? So I'm just using weight as an example. It's so many things as well. Some people say they don't like their voice. A lot of us don't like our voices, but we either get to a level where we like it, or we just try to voice train. There are voice training classes, there are free apps online that you can even voice train. I personally started doing it because I thought my voice was a bit too hoarse than I usually like. But a lot of people tell me, "Oh, Ray, you've got such a sexy voice." I know. But these are just examples. Like, there will be things. Nobody is perfect. Even the models you see strutting on the runway, they all have their personal insecurities. But you know what? They love themselves. Those insecurities fuel their self-love. So you either have to take it, wrap it up in self-love and attitude and self-value, or you have to change it. Those are the two things you have to do, right? But you are your number one fan. So if you unfan yourself, nobody is going to fan you. If you talk down on yourself, nobody will talk you up. You have to first of all love yourself. You have to first of all love yourself to a point where it becomes obsessive, all right? Because the way you love yourself, the way you carry yourself is how the outside world and that man or those men, those provider men, are going to love you. When people meet you, they watch how you love yourself. They watch how you look after yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you respect yourself, and then they follow suit. And that's why self love and leveling up is such a vibe, such just the most price thing you could do for yourself. Because when you do that, you automatically filter out people who are not worthy of you, who are not worthy of your space or energy. It filters them out because they see you and they, first of all, they know that, oh, this woman is out of my pay, is above my pay grade. And that's what you want. That's what every woman should really crave for, right? To filter out the brokies, the dumpster man. You do not want to attract them. So if leveling up will take you several notches high above them, then that is exactly what you want. So the mentality part is so important. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a snag here. Some women are drop dead gorgeous, but for some reason they still do not have that um mental capacity, or do not have that self value. And most times it's because of upbringings, or maybe abuse, or something they faced in life, or they just do not have it, or their lives, what they've done is that they've always hung out with people who are losers, brokies. And just as leveling up is an energy and an aura, so also is brokies and basic life, a desperado life. It is also an energy. So if what you do, regardless of how you look, is to hang out and be with women, with men or women or people who are low vibration and who are losers and who are broke, then you will not have self value, because you always look at yourself as unworthy, and you always compare yourself to the next woman, right? And when you compare, make those comparisons, you will always fall short. So it's so important that your energy reflects. It's not just about the physical beauty. Again, like I said, some women are drop dead gorgeous and still do not have that energy. They do not have that aura or that main character energy about them, and that is where some of them go missing. The people they flock with, the company they keep, the men they let into their space and in their lives. So that is so important, that you deal with the mentality aspect, because your mental well-being will attract. It will attract, because if you're gorgeous, if you're stunning, and physically your outfit and everything about you is put together, but you're working with your shoulders dropped back, or your head bowed, or your shoulder, that is body language. And body language most times is a mental thing. It's not physical. It's a mental thing. It's how you're feeling. So if you're feeling, say, if you're feeling sensual and very beautiful, and you're radiating that feline, black, dark feline, feminine aura, then you will flirt, you just feel, you exude that bold main character feminine energy and aura. But if you are so gorgeous and still you don't know it, still you feel downcast, and it will reflect in your body language. You either sit and be on your phone because you are not proud, you're not confident enough to put your head up, raise your shoulders, and stand firm with a straight back, or sit with a straight back, and just have a lovely time. You won't, and it will make you less approachable, because your body language is speaking volumes, and not for you, but instead against you, because it's radiating a sort of low self-esteem, low self-value, and a gross lack of confidence. It shows in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you act when you're in public. And that is something that the physical can affect, but mostly it's the mental. And that's why you have to pick and choose the people who you let into your space. And for women who are leveled up, for women who attract men who are providers only, their body language. Oh my goodness, their mentality is on another level when it comes to a positive mindset, because they've done it, and because they let men woo and impress them. They know that they're deserving. They're not debate. It's not debatable, all right? Burying a nuclear war is not going to change it. They know it. It's in their minds. They know and they believe it, and they carry themselves as such. So their body language reflects it. It reflects the sensuality. It reflects that femininity. It reflects that aura that I am a woman and I know who I am. And if you are not correct, don't even come close. And they're happy when they're in public. They're so, even if they're sat alone, you can see it radiates. They do not need to be playing games on the phone or acting like they are talking to somebody on the phone. No, because they are confident. They know where they are sat. It's wherever they are, whoever is around them or watching them is privileged to see them. All right. And those are things that speak volumes, just like your appearance, they speak before you open your mouth. So, body posture, body language, those are all things that will be informed by how your mental state is. So, for example, not being able to hold, also like not being able to hold a conversation and look straight at the person you're speaking to and have make eye contact, because you lack self confidence. Some of you is upbringing, because I know that there's certain parts of the world that let people know that from a young age that you shouldn't be looking at an elder in the face. That's I call BS. I call BS, because the less eye contact you make, the more you depict yourself as someone who is lacking in self confidence, someone who's lacking in self love, or just is shady. Because again, people who are shady don't like to make eye contact because they're worried that you may just see what it is they're hiding. So eye contact, body language, all of that, body posture is so important. Good word posture. And this is another trait that women who attract and are with provider men have than under embody. They are main characters. Their mental state is cleansed. They love themselves. They carry themselves with grace and they give themselves grace. And they know that it can only get better. And with that thought, they just they just win. And it always reflects in their mental state, how they portray themselves mentally, um, as well as the little traits and habits that trickle down from that mental health, that positive mental state. Right? I hope I haven't. I'm not trying to confuse you, but if you listen to what I'm saying, you'll understand exactly what it means. Now let's move to the emotional before this video goes too long. We're already 21 minutes in. The emotional part. Women who date providers are not emotional. A lot of you say you want to be with provider men, but you are so easily triggered. Why are you so easily triggered? A lot of you behave like, I know when you the thing is when you're with brokies and dumpsters and you're a basicer, it's easy to be triggered because again, nothing is going your way. You have so many challenges that nobody's helping. The person you're snacking with and you know sharing whatever with is not helping. And so you have so many issues that you are alone trying to solve them. And you become in this very defensive mode permanently, and your energy is constantly in a fighting energy. It's not resting or a peaceful energy or aura. It's constantly fighting. And so that's something you will have to unlearn because women who are with provider men, they do not get triggered. They've trained themselves. They've learned and unlearned how to be in control of their emotions. For example, if they want something from the man they're with and Mr. A can't provide it, they're not going to go about yelling and insulting or threatening or being all dramatic and acting out of character. They're just going to say, okay, because they know Mr. B will be able to do what they need, or Mr. C. That's just how it works. Or they just let them know, okay, I will find a way. And if they ask you how you're going to find a way, you just smile and walk away. You say, well, you know what, I'll find a way. They do not start acting out of character and being making a ridicule of themselves. That those are things that set these women apart. Make no mistake, they're not throwing tantrums on the street or getting in a whole mood and throwing their toys out of a pram. Never. You will not catch them acting out of character in public or with this man. They are able to control their emotions. So that is something that if you want to be with provider man, you have to learn. You have to train yourself to act in that way. Because the more in control of your emotions you are, the more mysterious and the more unreadable you are, the more you will get, the more you will attract, the more wins you'll have. Because when you stay mysterious and stay calm and controlled under difficult or pressurized situations, the man is wondering, what sort of woman is this? I thought she was going to do this. Sometimes they even do things that deliberately. They do deliberate things to trigger you to see how you're going to react. And if you don't, then they wonder, well, what is it about her? Why did she not react? And they get fascinated. They want to know. They want to unravel you and know what more layers there are about you. You become an intrigue, right? And you want to be an intrigue. You want to be intriguing rather than a nuisance. A nuisance does not win. So this is one of the traits of women who are with provider men. they are emotionally stable. They have control over their emotions. They're never, ever slave to their emotions. They control their emotions don't control them. So if you are someone who struggles to control your emotions, learn that today, because it will take you a long, long way, especially in the change. It will take you so far, my love. Darlings, emotional discipline is of the utmost. It's so important. All right. When there was a time when I used to let people read me, my facial expressions. I've never been the one to ever shout or, you know, threaten, or never. I'm not a dramatic person. I mean, I'm a first daughter, so first daughters are rarely, like that. But there was a time growing when I was younger. I used to be quite who is it? It's time to sleep, everyone. Go sleep, right? I used to be so easy to read. So my facial expressions used to mirror what I was thinking for most of the time, especially when it was a negative thought or a displeasing thought. And I would hear things like, I can read you. That's not a compliment. It's actually something you have to train. You have to learn to have a bitch face where when you are not feeling the environment or whatever is going on, no one is able to pick on that. Like being unbreathable, simply unbreathable all the freaking time. And when you let emotion show, let it be because you are showing it and you're using it to achieve something. It's training, it's discipline, and you have to learn to have that sort of discipline over yourself and your emotions, because those who learn to control their emotions, they win. These are women I'm talking about. There's women who attract and are with provider men, who are provided for by men. They are in control of their emotions. The next one and the last one under the level of is psychological. I don't know how many of you have read the 48 laws of power and the art of seduction and the art of war. The art of war, the title is rather misleading. It's more about psychological warfare. It's about emotions. The same thing, like I said the last time, about controlling your emotions, controlling yourself, learning to be the master of your mind. All right, that you think things that are positive. You control your mind. You control your senses. You don't let yourself be controlled by emotions or events, because imagine if you're controlled by events and by people or you will be so easy to be manipulated, right? You'll be the most manipulated person on earth, because you're impressionable, because your emotions are all over the place, because psychologically people trigger you so easily, and you are just a plaything. So the art of war talks about how to use power. Then the art of seduction also talks about the power. The power you as a woman wields. You do not even have to shout if you know your strength as a woman. Sometimes your body language alone will make someone know that they have to record. I have been told so many times, like, Ray, I don't like the way you look at me. And I'm like, how have I looked at you? They say things like, you just gave me the most chilling look. That's the power of a woman. You have so many weapons at your disposal to use. So instead of act out and be dramatic, learn how to, what's the word? Harness those skills, harness those weapons, and use them to your advantage. If you don't have them, listen to books, audiobooks, or read books that tell you how to harness your powers, to harness your skills as a woman, because a woman has so much at her disposal, so much that she goes to war with. Looks, body language, just flat. There's so much. You just need to harness it, learn them, and use them for your own good, for your own success, for your own progress. Never let it work against you. Instead, let it work for you. For every, let me say this, right? Let me say this. For every character, every trait or habit that you have that is working against you, there's a flip side to it that you can turn and make it work for you and for your success rather than against you. So think about it, all right? If you're not, for example, if you do not know how to dress and you find that your appearance and the way you dress is attracting the wrong crowd, the flip side of that is to learn how to dress appropriately so that you can attract the person, the man, that provider man, and that well off man that can in turn provide for you and improve your life, right? Also, if you realize that your makeup makes you look old or makes you look older than your age, or it's not just up to par or up to, it's not leveled up, the flip side of it is to improve your makeup skills. Go on YouTube, go on Pinterest, particularly YouTube. You'll find a makeup artist in your skin tone. Learn from them. You can type in even your face and facial structure, like type in your skin color, your skin tone, and all of those specifics. Even if you type that out on Google, Google will redirect you to, will bring out YouTube videos that will fit your your search, and you will go there and just look at a lot of them, and the one that appeals to you the most, use it. But what point is that for every habit and trait that's working against you, you can harness it to work for you instead. And that is what I would say on leveling up. You see how I spent about 30 minutes talking about just leveling up, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But um these four things are traits and habits that women who are provided for by men, they harness them, they own these traits, they have these traits, they own them, and they're unapologetically leveled up and in this energy, so much so that wherever they go, that's what they attract to themselves. The second thing is that they have boundaries. Women who are provided for have boundaries. They do not go about putting the ball in the man's court and say, "Oh, if you can't do it my way, what are my options?" No, they tell you what they want, and it's either you can meet up with it or you can't. All right, it's non-negotiable. They're not debating with you or trying to speak to you to try to get you to understand them. No, it's so clear and glaring that this woman is a certain way because she only deals with people who provide for her, who do certain things for her, who improve her, who come to her because they want to impress her. And so, if you come to a woman who's leveled up and you want to impress her, you're not going to start by saying, "Let's go for coffee," right? So they have boundaries. For example, a woman who's provided for a man is not going on a coffee date, or who has been provided for by a man, or has been only goes out or date provide a man, does not go for coffee date. And so when this man comes to her and says, "Shall we go for a coffee date?" She's not going to say, "Oh, I don't." She's going to tell you clearly, "I do not do coffee dates." And then that man is going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. So let's go for a meal." And he's going to make that reservation. But for some of you, you're so worried about losing out on nothing because nothing has happened. This man's just approaching you. And instead of you to start from that moment by qualifying and pre qualifying this man, you're already worried that if you say the wrong thing, it's not you who says the wrong thing, it's the man. So for the fact that he's already suggesting a coffee date, he's pre-qualifying himself. You already at the back of your mind, you know that this one is not a serious person. This one is a time waster. But you're not reducing your level. You're not dropping your standards and saying, "Okay, I don't do coffee, but for this one time." Because how you started is the foundation you lay. If from the get go you make him realize that your standards are reducible, that your standards can go up or down, then trust me entirely, from that moment on, they will keep going down. So it's so important that you know that women who they provide a man, they do not debate, they do not shake on their boundaries. Their boundaries are there. That in fact, their lives are about placing hurdles in front of you for you to overcome them to get to them. That's all that woman does. She places hurdles in front of you so that if you want her, you impress her by overcoming that hurdle, solving that problem to get to her. And if you don't, well, go. You're definitely not for her. She is not. She is not thinking. She's not thinking. Oh, if he goes, who else is gonna come? Real, because that's really how some of you women think. The basics. That's how they think. The desperado women. That's how they think. They are so all about nothing. Like he hasn't done anything, and then you're just worried. You have already you're putting the ball in his court. You're putting the authority in his hands by yielding to what he wants, even though it's not what you want. You see where we're going with this? So when uh, when you're faced with scenarios where you have to discuss your boundaries. And I'm not saying you go and say it because some of you are weird. Honestly, some of you are weird. Like it's weird how you behave. Like you say to them, oh, I have this boundary. No, that's not how you say it. Well, you say, you know what? I appreciate that you do want to go out with me, but I don't drink coffee or I don't do coffee dates. So if you do want to spend time with me, you want to get to know me, you'd have to make reservations, dinner or lunch reservations, and then we can meet and talk. You're not going to tell him you've got a boundary and you don't, no, that's not smart. Be smart about it. Think about it. You're telling him, I do not do coffee. I do not do coffee dates. And so if you want to know me, you have to do this. That's how you start to train him from the get-go. And if he says he only does coffee dates, then au revoir, baby. Hasta la vista. You are not reducing yourself. Okay. And this is what women who are provided for, who are with provider men and well off men, these are things they've mastered because it's them or nothing. It's what they want. They are the first. They're not putting anybody's want above theirs. They are not going to reduce themselves just to make you comfortable. Your comfort is your problem, but their boundaries must be met, must be must remain respected. So they're not in the business of reducing themselves for external validation or external approval. In fact, they don't need it because they're so self-aware and so self-obsessed that very few people will have the audacity to actually ask them to do that. But in the case where they ask, because we're now audacious and we know this, they just quietly put you in your place. They tell you respectfully, I don't do that. I appreciate that, but I don't do that. So if you want to be like those women, you have to learn boundaries. You have to learn to uphold your boundaries, respect them, and have them always in place. Let they not be seasonal like the weather in England. You have to keep them there and they have to stay. All right? They don't come and go. They meet you in the morning, you have those boundaries in place. They meet you at lunch, those boundaries are still intact. At dinner, they are locked in and sealed. So these are some things that you have to train yourself if you want to be a woman of that caliber. All right, it has nothing to do with luck. These women are strategic, these women are well disciplined, this woman is the main character. And that leads us to the next point. The woman who is provided for by a man, this woman whose habits, the habits of a woman, the next habit of a woman who is provided for by a well-off man and a provider man is that she is the main character. All right, she is self-obsessed. She protects her energy and love. It is not available for everyone and anyone. She lets her energy and space and time be earned. Her time is so valuable to her because she knows that for anyone to earn the privilege to be in her presence, they must earn it, right? They must earn it. They must impress her to a point where she's willing to have lunch with that man. She's willing to have dinner with him or spend 5 minutes on a phone call with him. It has to be earned. All right. And that automatically filters out the chaff. It filters out the basic, it filters out the dumbstring brokies. Right? That's what this woman does. That's her habit. But for a lot of you, you basically, you are always worried. All right, you cannot be the main character because you think that if you are the main character, what would they think? You're always thinking about what other people think, except for you. You think you're worried about people's thoughts and opinions, and they don't count. Only your thought and happiness and opinion counts when it comes to your satisfaction and your upliftment. Only you matter. All right. So you you have to stop thinking about what other people think, what that man thinks. You don't care. You don't even know that man. You don't know if in the next 2 weeks that man will still be in your vicinity or in your contact list, if he is already on your contact list. So he has to move correct because that's the only way that will guarantee that he still is here in 2 weeks. And so he is there to impress you, not the other way around. So you're not afraid to say what you want. You're not worried about being the main character because how you love, again, I already said, how you love yourself, how you show up for yourself will determine how other people or that man will show up for you. How you carry yourself, how your body posture, your body language will always make people know how to treat you. So if you are if you're insecure and you're walking about with your shoulders drooped and your back, slouched, those signs already and those habits already say that this is someone who is insecure. This is someone who lacks self-confidence, and this is someone who is a certain sort of way. So, darlings, it's important you know that if you are going to attract and be with a provider man, you have to be confident that main character energy. You have to learn it. You have to overpower yourself with that main character energy. Know that you are the main character. And that's why it's you he's approaching. That's why the man approaches you. You do not approach him. He wants you. He needs you to make him feel good. He needs you to make him um, he needs your presence to bask in your sensual allure. And so for him to be able to have that, he has to see you as the main character. But if you are not the main character, he will take the lead. He will do, he will then take authority and lead you down a path that is not convenient for you, a path you do not want. That is why you see so many of these basic women. I don't know a lot of them, but sometimes you hear them ask questions like, what if he doesn't want to? What do you care what he wants? If he doesn't want to, he'll find a way. That's the door. Let him go. It has nothing to do with you. The next one will come. No, the next one will come. And that's why you have to be also content. That's another thing about a main character energy, a main character woman. That woman who attracts that provider man is so aware of her traits and habits and of her self value that because one man lives tomorrow, she is not going to fall into a basic role and start acting a certain kind of way to attract a brokey because she knows that's not her life. That's not for her. And whatever she has lost, bigger and better will come. It will walk through that door. So she isn't mindful of her actions and her actions only. She's not sat there and worried about, oh, he is gone. So what if no one, no, there's no what ifs. Because if you are leveled up and you know who you are and you portray yourself as such, then you know that it's only a matter of time. As long as you are putting yourself in the right places, it's only a matter of time. As long as you're leveled up and you're not willing to accept anything lesser than what you know you deserve and want, it's only a matter of time. You're not sat there and worried about what he thinks. He's already walked through the door because he knows you're out of his above his pay grade. And again, women who are not leveled up, basic women, they do not see the compliments in this. Because if a man comes to you, if a man cannot measure up and he walks through the door, it's a compliment. It means you are filtering out the chaff. Why don't you see this? You're filtering out the chaff. And in its place, you will get, well, what happens when you use a sieve to filter out stuff? The chaff is left, and you have the ideal texture or the real left. So why are you so worried about filtering out the chaff? But this is for basic women. They worry so much about what has left or what if someone will not come. You can only be thinking about that when you are still not leveled up mentally or you lack self-value. Because again, the thing about provider men is that if you want to provide a man, you must embody patience. Because the lack of it thereof will lead you down the path of brokies. You will become a basicer if you're in such a rush and you want. Actually, that's another video for me to make. All right, that I just see. Sometimes when I'm talking to you guys, I get ideas. All right, impatience or a desperate woman should not be dating. A desperate woman should not be dating. So I have to write that down before I forget to. Yeah. So if you're impatient or desperate, you want to find that man right now. No, no, no. You are going to fall into the hands of users, of brokies, of dumpster men. Yes, that's another hobby and trait of a main character. They're not in a rush. You cannot rush them, and they don't rush themselves. They know that they want something good, and something good might take time. So whilst they're waiting and strategizing and going, leveling up their lives and putting themselves in the right spaces, they are comfortable in their aura, they are comfortable in their spirit, and they exude that comfort in their body language as well. Do you see how this works? So whoever is coming around them is not sensing desperation and urgency that is just making them look so desperate. It is comfort. What they're radiating is comfort, is peace, is sensuality, is just I'm happy, I'm at peace. Who doesn't want that? But when instead what you're giving off is desperate energy, I need this, I want this now. Oh, if this doesn't happen now, I'm going to. People will flee from you. They'll flee faster than a whirlwind. Like you have no idea. People will flee from you. And even those who are genuinely interested in you will still flee because that desperate energy, that I am not sure if I'm here, I'm in public, but I'm not the main character, so I have to feign to be on the phone, I have to be going through social media. No one is going to take you seriously. And that is why main character is so important. The women who attract this man, they have that energy. They are sat in public and they are sat with their shoulders high and they look like they're having fun. Even if they're sat alone, they're not pretending to be on a phone call or being on social media and then looking, giving corner eyes. Who wants that? It spells, it spells, is it smells or spells? It smells desperate. It spells desperate energy. I'm desperate. I need someone to come talk to me. Oh, I am on the phone. So if you want to talk to me, come on, then go out. If you're not having fun, then go out where you will have fun or go home. So you must learn to be the main character. When you are in a space, you occupy that space with the positive and sensual feminine energy that you radiate. That's the energy a main character gives off. Main character walks there and she is not sat on her phone. Even if she's alone, she sat there enjoying her salad or her drink. Whatever it is you're there to do, focus on it. Remember, a main character lives in the moment. Main character is not trying to act as though she has distractions. No, that's not an elegant habit. An elegant habit is that when you're in the moment, you are immersed into that moment. You're not focused on other things. So acting like as though you're on the phone or being on social media and scrolling through social media is not elegant, and uh it's not a habit that is admirable. It's just something that makes people know that you are low value. You're still not disciplined. There's nothing disciplined about that. So a woman who attracts and has been and is with provider man, she is well above those little theatrics. She's not about playing, you know, those shenanigans to attract. No, she's not trying to pull. She's not trying to. She's not there screaming, save me, I am bored." No, she's there and she is sat comfortably and with her shoulders high, her back straight, and being very well behaved and communicating with waiters very respectfully as well and sat very elegantly. And it's not on her phone, even if she's alone. You guys, you know how many times I've said even if she's alone? Because some of you claim that you go out to see if you can meet people and you spend 90 or 85% of your time out on your phone, either taking rubbish, selfies and all of that. But when people see that you're so busy, you're so engrossed in whatever it is you've got going on your phone, they don't even think you're having a video call or whatever. So they're not going to approach you because no, it's just not a habit that is attractive. It's just not. So main characters live in the moment. Learn to live in the moment wherever you are. Live in that moment. If you're at an event, focus on networking, focus on talking to people, focus on smiling and listening to conversations so that you can contribute if need be. If it's a topic that interests you or you have an idea about, you can contribute to it. Learn to focus on the now and learn to have fun. Learn to portray to the people around you that you're having fun. You're not bored. Because when you are in a public space and you're acting all bored, it's also something that is not elegant. People look at you and think, well, if you're not bored, then leave. Don't be on the phone, feigning to be on a phone call, feigning to be taking a selfie. It is not elegant. It is not an attractive or admirable habit. Women who are leveled up, who date provider men, they have this habit where they are the main character, and when they walk into a room, they own it by the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they address people, the way they appear, and all of this facets. So this habit is so important because it will either make or break you. When you don't have that main character energy, even when you do meet that well-off man, you will let him lead. And let me tell you what, men are some of the greatest users known to humanity. Why do you think our world is the way it is? Because the men are leaders and a lot of them are users. But do you know who you know the person what's the word? What facilitate is it facilitate I wanted to say. We facilitate them. I'll say we because I'm a woman as well. Women facilitate, they encourage them, they let them to be users. They, in fact, sometimes they help them use them. All right. So even if you're not a main character, if you do not have this trait or habit, even when you meet that man, you will let him use you. You will let him drag you down the path. Do you remember the movie 50 Shades of Grey? I read that book, the trilogy. I read it um, years before it was made into a movie. But here's the thing: do you see Anastasia Gray? When she met him, he was treating her as all his what is it, soaps they call them, or doms. He was treating her like all his former soaps. He didn't see her as different. He was going to just treat her the same way. And what did she do? She was the main character, even though he was this unfathomable billionaire, successful human being in his 20s. She came from basically nothing. She put her foot down. She said, I know who I am. I will not accept this. This is not what I want. And if this is what you want, that's okay. Go on. So this is why I said it has nothing to do with what you have achieved, what you have is simply in the mind. You are willing to say you are the main character, and when it's not for you, you're willing to and able to say convincingly, that is not for me. No, this is not what I want. Thank you, but no. It is women. There's women who are with men who provide for them. This is what they are good at. They are good at being the main character and deciding what stays and what goes, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in their space. So some of you are so basic and so desperados, such desperados that everything goes. You're so scared of saying no. You're so scared of saying that doesn't work for me. And then you just collect. Your space is filled, is consumed with junk. So much junk because you do not know how to say no. Well, this is one thing that main characters are good with. They know how to say no. Darling, learn how to say no today. If it means standing in front of a mirror and saying no, no. Say it with such a beautiful smile on your face, even though you're saying no, it's like you're saying yes. Say no, no, that doesn't work for me. No, sir, thank you, sir, but that I will pass on that. Oh no, this does not work for me. Oh no. Practice saying no in so many scenarios, so many situations, so many tones and energies, but all of them must be soft. A soft no is a brilliant no. You look them in the face and you say, oh, really? No, 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 I don't want that. No, this is not for me. Learn to say no. A main character says no. Women who are able to look, in fact, for men who are provider men, for well-off men, for billionaires and high achieving men, they want women who are able to be main characters, who, despite who they are, these women are able to stand in front of them and tell them no and say, that is not for me. I won't work with that. I can't work with that. Thank you. It's a good, it's a generous offer, but no, that's not for me because they are used to people sucking up to them, you know? They're quite used to people sucking up to them. So when they meet someone who's different, someone who is standing up and challenging them, they find it rather refreshing. It's so refreshing, to be honest, because who wants to live a boring life where every time they are to open their mouth or turn this way or whatever direction they turn, they're listening. All they can hear is yes, yes, sir, yes, yes. They want to know. They want people who can stand up to them and damn whatever they think is the consequences. So, darlings, learn. The main character knows how to say no. In fact, that's one of her biggest um, weapons to say no. That's not for me. I want this. That won't do. This won't just cut it. So be comfortable with that, all right? Learn to do it. Main character energy will win for you, but you cannot be a main character if you do not know how to say no. It is important to learn to say no, nada, nehi, no. Say it in every language, you know, but the important thing is you must learn how to say no. And that is a habit that women who are with provider men have. They know they are main characters and they do not reduce themselves or inflate themselves to fit into any situation or condition. They have to occupy space. That is a trait, that is a habit that wins for them all the time. The next habit that women who attract and are with provider men is that their aura is magnetic. Their aura is magnetic. What does this mean? Have you ever seen some women you see on social media, you just want to know them? Why? First of all, because even before they open their mouth, you're attracted to them because of their aura, what they look like, what their energy, what they portray. It's just a picture, and yet you like it, and you want to know that person. You go and check their profile. You go through their profile and look through their pages. Why? Because there's something about them. This person, it's not even a video, and sometimes a video, but they haven't even spoken, so you don't know what they sound like. You don't know what they're like, or you just know that this person is. There's something about them. That je ne sais quoi aspect, that is that thing that draws you. So this particular woman who is with provider man, she has that effect, that aura that is magnetic. It's an energy. It can be enhanced. Some people are born with it. Some people, it's learnable, it's trainable. It's also how you embody, how you carry yourself, your appearance. Because first of all, you have to be attractive. You have to be attractive. You have to be put together. If someone comes close to you, sees you, and your hair looks like it's not been washed for a week, and you smell like gin and tonic or vodka, or you smell like drugs or whatever, like you've been using some cheap drugs, and you look like you haven't had a shower in 3 days, I don't care what aura you think you have, they're not going to feel drawn to you. The only people who are going to be drawn to you are people who flock together with you, the unshowered ones, the druggies, the brokies, and all of that. Those are the people who attract you. But for a woman to have that aura that is magnetic, first of all, she has to be attractive. She has to be obsessed with her appearance. She has to be pleasing under eye. When you're easy to look at, then the rest is easier. And then when your appearance is beautiful and put together and pleasing to see, then when you open your mouth, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you address people, all of those combine together, and your sensuality, how you wear your femininity, all right? It's not something to be shied away from. It's something to be embraced. The sort of fragrances you wear, because fragrances, like it or not, there are fragrances that hypnotize. So if you are wearing perfumes that hypnotize people, that attract people, that draw people to come and say, "Hello, miss. Sorry to bother you, but what are you wearing? You smell like a dream." Oh, okay. Magnetic aura. Like I said, some people are born with it, some learn it, some enhance it, some train themselves. And whichever it is, it's still a magnetic aura. And you want to have that, because that's how you win. That's how you attract people. It will get you into doors that some other things won't get you in. That aura that is so undeniably sensual, that aura that is so um consuming, like it just draws in that man, and he just wants to spend the money on you. hmm because you are so attractive to him. Everything about you is just speaking to his senses, is drawing him in. But you can't be like that if you just walk down the street and you're chewing gum. Yeah, people will just make way for you. I mean, have you seen when some people walk down the street and people just making way because you look like trouble, and they don't want to have none of that. All right, they don't. I'm not joking, darlings. I'm not joking. All right. So, if you if you want to have that habit of this women who attract and they only provide a man, you must learn to have that aura. And you can start, like I said, it has to, first of all, start with your appearance. Your appearance has to be attractive for you to have that magnetic aura. The appearance, mental as well, the way, because the mental will inform your body language, your body posture, the way you speak to people, the way you address people, how you talk, how you carry yourself. It will reflect in all of those things, and that will in turn make you look or have that aura. And also the fragrances. Use all the tools that you have at your disposal, use them. These women do not leave anything to the chance. They take advantage of fragrances, the sense of smell. Everything they do tickles all five senses. And you will ask, does it tickle all five senses? Let's start with the sense of sight. Is what you look like. Is what you look like. So if I appear and I'm looking all gorgeous in a beautiful, flattering dress that is not hugging or showing off any goods, but at the same time, it just hug, accentuates my figure in all the right places, I am already appealing to the sense of sight. And then the sense of smell. Come, the walk within 2 or 3 miles with me, and they perceive a fragrance that just draws them in, and they want to know where it's coming from. And then they look, and what they see is this pleasing woman, gorgeous, elegant woman, and they know that's where it's coming from, and they want to know, oh my goodness, you smell like a dream. What are you wearing? That's where the conversation starts, right? Oh, I'm not wearing a particular perfume. I like to mix and match, but these are the perfumes I'm wearing. I'm wearing C by Armani. I'm also wearing Givenchy she's a woman. And then the conversation takes on from there, because you have appealed to the sense of sight by looking put together. You've also tickled the sense of smell by wearing a clean, beautiful, elegant, scintillating smell. And I don't use the word scintillating um, easily. So it means I'm in business. All right. The third sense is the sense of what's the one? Sense of touch. I haven't mentioned self care, have I? But self care is, I've mentioned it, but I didn't talk about skincare. Skincare is so paramount. And the thing about skincare is the more you exfoliate, if you have a skincare routine, the more you exfoliate and moisturize, the more, sorry about that, the more you exfoliate and moisturize, the more your skin texture improves. So again, it's something that not all people are born with it. I naturally have a baby soft skin, but I've realized that the more I exfoliate, the softer my skin feels. So if someone mistakenly touch your skin, even if it's your arm, they just want to, kiss your hand, they can feel that velvety, satin, silk soft skin, and they want to know more. They want to touch it again. And the only way they can get to touch it is to get to know you. You see how this happens? So not only have you captured their sense of sight, you've appealed to their sense of smell, you've now appealed to their sense of touch. And now when you speak to them, you're speaking in a measured, calm, satisfying voice that appeals to you and to them. And you're not cursing, you're not speaking loudly, you're speaking like a woman who is disciplined, who loves herself, who values herself, and is confident in her energy, right? So, this is how you're able to tickle all senses by simply having that magnetic aura. It's all things. It encompasses so much and so many areas. So I have already talked about physical, which is a sense of sight, smell, which is a sense of smell, all of those things. All right. So these are habits that you cannot do without if you're going to attract well-off men, men who are successful, who are provider men, who want to provide for you. They derive satisfaction and joy from providing for you. Women who are with men like this, these are habits they exude. These are their lifestyle. This is how they've trained themselves to be. They are not easily triggered. They've trained themselves. They're in control of their emotions. they have leveled up, and all and so on and so forth. Right? So the last one, second to the last one is that they are strategic. Is the second to the last one, the last one? They are strategic and intentional. When a woman who knows what she wants and knows that she is above a certain lifestyle, and there's a certain lifestyle she wants for herself, when she is stepping out of her house, she is not going to go to the slums for a drink or for dinner or for brunch. She is not going to go to the most impoverished part of the city to go work out. Everything she does is intentional. It's purposeful. It's planned strategically. If she's going to to have a gym subscription, she is going to have that subscription at the well-off part of town. She's going to check the well-off postcodes. That's where she's going to work out. Her hairdressers are in the well-off part of town. Her nail stylist, her everything she does, just to put herself and her mindset in where people who are well off are, to watch them, to see how they behave, to see how they dress, to see how they talk, to see how they act, and above all, to be served and to have. You guys, did you just hear that banging on the door? Goodness me, I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, just to wrap this up, I will be wrapping up soon. So they are intentional. The way they act, where they go, the activities, they always make sure the activities are in the well-off parts of the city or parts of wherever they live. All right, every place you live has, every country, every state, every city has a side where people who are well off, people who are more successful live, and you target your strategy, you're strategic in the sense that you target those parts of the city. You target those part of this of the town or city to frequent, to go for your leisurely activities, to just get your errands done over there. That is strategy. You cannot say you want to attract a well-off man, but when you're going out with your friends or when you're going out for dinner, you are going to um, where 22-year-olds who have got mates living with them hang out. You can't do that. So, strategy is the last one, but it is so important. You have to know where you go, because where you go is who you are actually. If you go to places where it's 22-year-olds, people who are in college, boys who go to the gym and have muscles and are brokies, but you think they're good on the eye, that those are the people who approach you. Those are the people who you will find in your space, because again, those are the places you're putting yourself in. You're putting yourself in spaces where men like that are young men, boys. All right. So strategy is about knowing where you go, knowing what you eat. You want to eat foods that are nice to your skin. You want to take supplements. You want to take things that will make you look young, make you give your skin a natural glow. You want to drink water. You want to keep away from drugs. If that's something you do, you need to cut it out. It's not part of the strategy, because drugs will damage your skin. They will damage you mentally as well as physically. So you want you don't want to drink too much. It is and it's that's why I said it's a lifestyle, my darlings. It is an absolute lifestyle. And if you want to um if you want to attract the right man, you must teach yourself these habits. All right, because these are the habits they have. When you go out to events where it is well off men, you see this woman in these circles. They're not going to um, dance hall, marketplace, gigs where alcohol, beer cups are being thrown in the air. No, they're not doing that. They're protecting themselves, they're strategizing, they're putting themselves only in lit circles where people who they attract, they see in those events are people who are high earners, who are providers, who are well off, who are successful and high achievers, because that's what they want to attract. And so they live as such. So if this is what you want to, you have to learn these habits, because these women, these are some of the habits that are at the forefront of their lives. They have disciplined themselves, they have trained themselves to live like this. And you cannot escape it. You either want it or you don't. So you can either carry on with your brokey lifestyle and do that, or you can learn this habit and strategize and know the places you take yourself. Make sure that wherever you go is in line with your goals. The person you want to attract, the man you want to date, is in this circle. Is in this circle? For everywhere you want to go, you must ask yourself, would the man you want to attract and date be in this circle? The place you're going to eat, the place, this party you're going to, will the man you want to date or attract or marry, would he be in this venue? Would he be in a basement thingy, dancing and throwing beer in the air? Would he be in there? So you have to streamline and redirect your purpose and your goal and let it tally with your actions, and learn this habit, these traits. Again, I will list them off just before I go. The first one is that they're leveled up. That's the number one trait these women have. These women who attract and date only provider men. They are leveled up physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. They are leveled up physically, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. Ecologically. Okay. Number two, they have boundaries. Number three, they are main characters. Number four, their aura is magnetic. Number five, which is the last one, is that they're intentional and strategic. So these are some of the few habits, and make sure you like, if you have already not, so if you've not already subscribed, kindly subscribe, like, and share this content so that other women too will learn about this and imbibe this into their culture or day-to-day life and make these habits a daily part of their lifestyle. So thank you for watching. Again, subscribe, don't forget, subscribe, like, and let me know what you think in the comments. I will see you tomorrow. I go on live stream every day, always make it interactive. Let me know, ask your questions, and I will answer you in the comments now. So yes, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.